Good afternoon, everybody. So I wanted to do something a little different today. As you saw from the title, I've got a couple special guests. We're going to go in here and talk about why you should hire an interior designer. And so today I have with me someone who is a professional at interior design and someone who has no clue. No offense to him, but really has no clue. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to take a look at some houses, answer some questions. And so please, we encourage you to participate. I think we're going to have a very good time. In case you don't know, if you haven't been to this channel, I go by Ian of Austin everywhere on the internet, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. So let me start by bringing in both Holly and Matt. Holly, can we take a minute to introduce you?
Yes, we can. My name is Holly McKay, and I own Atmosphere Design, which I do residential interior design as well as home staging.
I love it. Matt?
Yeah, my name is Matt Shows, owner and coach of the Growth Coach North Austin. I'm a business coach, and as Ian alluded to, I have no idea how to interior design. And if you ever hired me to do it, your home would be a nightmare.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the transparency. I think one of the things that makes this interesting is because as a realtor, I see both sides. I see people that are in the professional space, and then I see people that have no clue. They don't have that spatial awareness. They don't have that ability to visualize their intent. And so I actually moved it to where I'm sitting in the middle, and you've got Holly and Matt on either side. And so I think that'll make it a lot of fun. So why don't we start with Holly? Why don't you explain what the difference is between an interior designer, a stager, and all those other sorts of things in your space? Give me some definitions.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times people will use the word decorator and designer synonymously, and there actually is a difference. As a designer, that requires specific training, formal training, and in things like space planning and construction and understanding how the interior actually works. So you'll know whether you can move a wall or pare something down to gain more space or what have you. And that does require a Bachelor of Science degree. There is actually science involved. It's all about also knowing how to do computer-aided drafting and design, whereas interior decorator is more involved with the aesthetics of it all. So it's more about being able to pull together certain textures and shapes and colors that make it feel comfortable. So as I like to kind of say, designers can be decorators, but decorators cannot be designers.
That's really interesting. I actually had no clue about that. And then Matt, it's interesting because in your world, in your business, you get to identify the psychographics of people and how they work. And so, like I said, I think this is going to be fun. So what I'd like to do first, if you're okay with it, is pull up a house that I think is so before I even pull up the house, I want to say all of these houses are currently on the market. That's part of the reason why we wanted to do it this way. So all of these houses are currently on the market right now. If you did want to buy it, you could. And we have different sizes of houses. So I'm going to pull up the smallest one first because why not? I think it's, what's the word? Cute is what we were talking about earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right now.
Disclaimer, if this is your home and it is on the market, we may get a little mean.
We might just sell it for you right here.
Yeah, full disclaimer. So once again, it's all, so I pulled up my website, ianofAustin.com, where you can find any houses out there on the market. So first thing I'm going to do is open up some pictures and let's take a look at this house. So I'm going to start scrolling through a couple of these things. The first thing I want to mention, because again, I'm a realtor, right? The first thing I want to mention is that this house, it's only a 2.2 tax rate and has no HOA. That has nothing to do with the design of it, but that's almost the first thing that I think about when I'm looking at these houses. And as I'm scrolling through, so why don't we say, Matt, what are you thinking so far? What would you do with this space?
Buy a bunch of person-sized chess pieces, so that way we could play it in the living room.
That's so funny.
What I was thinking is just invite a bunch of friends over and play the human game of chess.
It's so fun. So you said you play chess. I like the gamifying idea. My first thought would be, you know what? Where could I put a projector?
Okay, well, the designer's coming out in me now, and I would say it needs a lot of rugs.
A lot of what?
Rugs, a large rug.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It has to be something fairly simple, though. Maybe something that's more textural, all neutral, because
that floor's got a lot of texture.
Yes, that's why we need a carpet that's, well, when I say textural, it can be all the same color, but just have different textures to it. That does have, meaning, you know, sometimes there's parts of the rug that might have a low pile, parts that might have like a little bit of a shag to it.
So
interest, but yet it's all the same color.
How about this blue and the brown and the brown? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not a designer by any means, but it makes me a little queasy looking at it.
Queasy.
It is an interesting color choice for sure. It's it kind of brings me back to a bit of the, what was that, late 80s, early 90s, when blues and browns were really popular together.
So you're saying they're not popular anymore?
That's not true. It's just the blue is kind of popular. It's got like a mid-century kind of feel to it, but it's obviously a slightly dated place. So
the first thing I look at as a realtor, the first thing I'm looking at is, okay, they're gonna have to replace the countertops. This light and popcorn ceiling have to go somewhere. I'm looking at the outlets cover the plates and a phone jack on the wall.
Yeah.
And they're all yellow. They're all yellow. That bothers me to no end.
Absolutely.
But there's gas, but it's a gas range.
Oh, well, that is definitely a plus. But it wouldn't be that much to, I mean, even before you put it on the market, if you wanted to get a little bit more bang for your buck, it wouldn't have been that much to remove that popcorn ceiling, take the lovely fluorescent fixture out and pop a few cans in there, because they are, you know, can lights have gotten so inexpensive now. And they have ones at Home Depot that you can change. It's got 5 different colors and you can change it. And I think they're $11 a piece. So
looking at this kitchen, my first instinct, because I love to cook, is I'm going to feel cramped in here. And I don't know how I'm going to do everything I want to do. How would you address that?
Well, you can pretty much do anything if you have the right amount of money.
Yeah. So
I would probably blow that wall out where the sink is and push it all back a little bit more in like an island. And then just take the cabinetry and take it all the way to the ceiling, give you a little bit more space, because it looks like it's probably an 8-foot ceiling. And build a cabinet up, make it look built in by building a cabinet up over the refrigerator for a little bit more storage. But it looked like there was enough space in that living area that you could definitely, by taking down that wall, you could definitely, there's not a ton. Okay, because you got the fireplace right there.
Yeah,
but that's another thing you can also, I mean, you can leave a fireplace, but you could certainly do something different with that surround.
You don't really need the fireplace, right?
No, we're in Texas.
Right. I mean, we could just get rid of it.
We need it this week.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, that are watching, it is a little chilly.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to say it. What do you think? Just a little chilly out there?
Probably, yeah. One of the chilliest days I can remember, although Monday's going to be much worse. So, yeah.
All right, let's keep going through this. How about, so is that all you would do to the kitchen? What about this?
Oh, no. I pretty much get it.
How about these fixtures? I like talking about fixtures because I think sometimes people go way overboard or they don't fit the house at all. Like you see these, they look like airplane propellers, you know, just these crazy modern things in a house that it doesn't fit at all.
No.
Am I crazy for enjoying that arch and then that peek into the backyard from the kitchen?
Yeah, maybe. Julie Ruff says you need that fireplace right now, and she is absolutely right. It is very chilly. It is very chilly.
It is
I've got
true.
a picture I'll show you a little bit later.
Well, and it's one of those things that, that only happens about 3 or 4 times out of every couple of years that we get this cold. But yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How about this bathroom tile? How do you feel about that? Matt, how do you feel about it?
The shower is, I wouldn't say it's attractive, but overall I feel kind of neutral about this. Like I don't have strong feelings either way.
Neutral. What an interesting choice of words.
Mm-hmm.
I think my first thought looking at it like from a realtor perspective, I'm looking at there's all this caulk around the toilet. It looks a little much in my opinion. This sink looks like a bar of soap. I don't know anything. I'm not a designer, but that looks like a bar of soap. What is this thing? It looks like one of those old pump wells. So I spent time in the Philippines and in one of the city or one of the provinces, not actually in a city. And that's the kind of thing you would see when you're walking around, little pump wells to get some water. That's what that makes me think about. Okay. What do you think, Holly?
I think this could definitely use some updating. Those black diamonds, of course, most of the time you'd have a shower curtain on this. You could put a glass panel, but I would definitely change out the tile if you plan on doing that, because that would be, something that you would see all the time. It just has these very distinct lines going across. Totally idea. I don't know what the idea was there.
Yeah.
We thought, let's divide it like this, because it really just kind of cuts your vertical in half. But that would not be difficult to update, because it would be a matter of just going in, taking out the countertop, replacing it with a normal looking faucet fixture, and painting all of the cabinetry.
How do you feel about the cabinetry in general? Because it's a little old, it's a little dated.
I have developed an opinion now. That medicine cabinet, I don't want to reach over my toilet every time I'm trying to get in it.
I think that's actually supposed to be a regular cabinet.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to put medicine
any kind of cabinet. I don't care what it is. I don't want it to be over the shitter.
Oh, okay. Well, you do actually see that quite a bit, is where they put cabinets in, because there's not a ton of storage in that space. And the picture is even distorted because it's probably smaller than what it looks right now. So any type of space you can get over the toilet is usually a good place to do it.
Also, I'm a little guy. I'm a short guy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the shower head, and I can't tell if I'm more upset that I have to reach high for the soap or that the shower head is in a weird spot, in my opinion.
Right.
That seems like a design flaw.
It is very well. Actually, it's funny because I get a lot of those requests of, can we raise the shower head in that? They may not be doing anything else in the bathroom, but they just want to raise the shower head because, people are bigger than 5'2", so taller than 5'2".
Sorry, I just started scrolling through some more. So Matt, what would you do with this?
I like that little, I guess, DIY deck they made. At least that's the vibe I get from that. I like the benches.
My first thought is, what is this person here? What are they looking at?
A wall, right?
That's where I'd put my projector. That's where I'd put the screen right there on the other person's house.
Right.
Yeah. At night, that'd be perfect. I'd say a couple fans, but Holly, how would you make this exciting, if you will?
I would definitely, the little deck is nice, and it is an overhang. So that's kind of a nice little place that you could go out and enjoy when it's raining outside. And I would definitely probably pull those wooden benches. There's enough wood. So I would pull those wooden benches out, put a couple of chairs with some bright colored cushions or something, make it a little bit more homey, and maybe even put some metal artwork on the on the neighbor's house to make it a little more attractive. Actually, that's not what I would do. I would actually plant some type of plants in that area there.
In between, right here?
Yeah, definitely spruce it up a bit.
So a house like this, would you say that it's worth putting in one of those nice sliding doors, maybe like a double or triple pane sliding glass? Like, do you see people doing stuff like that to these smaller homes?
Absolutely. Now, it would require a lot more updating to really justify that as well throughout the house. But yes, that is the nice thing about Austin and our weather and the fact that we don't really need fireplaces because most of the time we can open those big wide panels of glass and enjoy the.
I also want to point out that it's got a nice little shed in the back, so you can do some things to that. This tree,
I expected.
That's where you put that.
Yeah, the yard is a good size. Look, you've got a little chicken coop or a puppy house. What
Use some grass.
You need some grass. The trees. So I want to point out. So as a realtor, I'm looking at it like, okay, this is going to be a ton of shade in the summertime. So that's kind of nice for a lot of people. But also, this grass is going to be kind of a concern. And I'm looking, and it looks like there's, I don't know if that's water damage or just dirt from over time. But anyway, Matt, what would you do with this space? Would you do anything with this, but you just run around? What would you do with this space?
Well, I'm putting a grill in that backyard for sure. You know, I look at it and I'm fine. I'm pretty content. I'm pretty easy to please, which is why I'm not the best for asking that kind of question.
You'd be fine if this was just your house, right?
You know what? I could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
I wouldn't stay home much. I'll tell you that though.
Have you seen people converting shed? Like, is that part of your wheelhouse? Part of the thing that you have been doing at all, or how have you helped people in their yards? I think that's important.
Yes, actually, I have done quite a few landscape. Well, I don't necessarily do landscape design. I'll bring people in that have a lot more knowledge about plants than I do. It is also kind of just that feeling that you're trying to invoke from bringing the outside into your home and letting the inside, it all relates. So you want it all to be kind of just flow. So I do a lot of patios and things like that. It's funny because I've only had one outdoor shed and they already had it like super cool designed. It was an office. I would like to see more of those. I would like one of those.
Yeah. Would you paint the house or do anything with the roof or anything like that?
I would probably lighten that house up. I mean, yes, I would definitely lighten the color up.
It's a lot of the same brown.
It is very brown. There's brown.
Like I see that it could look pretty neat. There's something you can do, even if you created like maybe an iron gate or something in the front and then had another partition in the back. It looks like they thought about it years ago and then they touched the fence.
What if you just painted the fence? Would the brown house be less offensive to you?
I would paint the house before I'd paint the fence. I know it's a little bit more square footage to paint, but it'd definitely be better.
I think another question I would ask, so as a realtor, I'm looking at it like, oh, that looks rusted to me. My question is, when you're dealing with these types of designs and you're updating some of these houses, do you see people painting these things? Like, here's an example. I know I've seen people paint grass.
Wow.
Like paint the yard. So I'm wondering, do you see anybody change that kind of stuff?
Well, because that's not a lovely visual, I would probably do something with the landscaping that would kind of hide some of that stuff. That's or smart. Even do like a partition gate or wall, or that might be a cool place to put like some type of iron element that would kind of hide that, or wooden element that would hide that. But obviously different from the color of the house.
Okay.
The business coach in me, because I like everything to be some kind of productive source, I'd have a little farm in that yard, or just some type of garden.
It could use some greenery for sure.
All right, let's hop on to the next house. So the next house is pretty interesting in that it's a little more square footage. This one is 3,500 square foot. So that last one was 840 square feet. It was a very small space, almost approaching tiny home size. Tiny home is 398 square feet. I don't know what the container homes are, but anyway, this is 3,500 square feet, a little larger than an average size home. Normally those are, I would say 2,000, 2,500 square feet, but let's see. So I'm going to add this. So the first picture that came up wasn't even of the front of the house. I have no idea why. So I'm going to go back and try to find
usually a reason for that.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there's probably a reason for that. Okay.
No,
So,
it's I think I've seen it.
Okay. So here you go. So this gives us the front of the house.
Yes.
Okay, Matt, why don't you give us some feedback on this?
I like it. I enjoy what I see. I don't know what I'd do different.
I was gonna say I don't even know if I should ask you. You like everything.
I don't like everything.
You're a functional person, right?
I am a functional person.
Is sitting behind him, that owl. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that owl, Matt.
Okay.
Where is it?
Let's talk about this owl real quick. What about it?
Kind of
You mean who?
Yeah. It goes back to the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so about this house.
I think it's about that old.
Sorry, let me go back to the house. Okay, so about this house.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a traditional style home. Mm-hmm. However, I think it could definitely use a little bit of updating. And I think it's probably one of the first things that either somebody who's buying the house or perhaps somebody who is trying to sell the house but wants a little bit more bang for the buck. I would probably definitely take out all the, 16 by 16 tile, maybe 18.
So
maybe
my first thought was it's got a front porch, which means it has potential for some people like that ranch style. Mm-hmm. It also has a lot of windows.
Yes.
So it gives a lot of natural light.
Mm-hmm.
But that can be okay. So I deal a lot, and you can talk to me about this, Matt. I deal a lot with people that think about safety is a concern based on where they are in life, if they have young children or something like that. And so the fact that someone can walk up to your front door and see everything in your house is almost a detriment to some people. It's weird. So even though it's frosted glass, it still looks a little, you can tell exactly if someone's home. Sometimes you don't want people to know if you're home, right?
This is true.
Yeah. And then as far as the floor, every time you change flooring, it throws off the feeling of space. That's my opinion, but I've had people say, I don't want a house because they saw more than 2 types of flooring.
Yes, I think what happens, ideally, if you can pick a material that will basically go throughout most of the house, which is usually like an engineered wood or an actual wood. They're making some incredible vinyls these days that mimic wood. You want that flow throughout because it does. There's just this visual, but also kind of mental, I got to step over this. And it just doesn't feel as big. It really chops up the space a lot. So I would definitely recommend if the wood color is a little bit more in the traditional. You see a lot of reds in that wood. So if someone were to come in, I would probably rip out the tile and just do all engineered wood.
Okay. How about this?
It also makes it feel bigger too.
It looks like that same wood is in the room beyond the foyer. I feel like why did they break it apart? Why not just keep that consistent?
Easy answer. So again, Realtor, right? This was probably a builder home, and the builder had tile and then carpet. And so before they put it on the market or at some point they were like, we should probably get rid of carpet and put solid floors because it's nicer, because we're thinking about selling it. Also, here's the other thing. It costs a lot of money to remove tile and then lay new flooring. So they were being cheap about it. No offense, right? But that's kind of what they were doing. Because it's a couple dollars a square foot to remove. It costs as much to remove as it does to lay new tile. That's kind of the rule of thumb.
Exactly.
What I've seen.
One thing that is aesthetically pleasing, and it's small to me, is I don't necessarily like the way that overhead lamp in the dining room is shaped, but I like that it's long under a long table.
Linear.
That feels good to me.
Yeah.
Yes, but it does not quite fit the house style because that house style is a little bit more.
Yet.
But if you change the entryway, because that is very traditional, it's probably the builder grade. I just think that if you're going to change that dining fixture, then you need to make the entryway all consistent. So you've got the older gold, probably shiny gold fixtures that were put in as soon as that house was built.
As soon as it was built. So you see this right here. You see the bar, the you know, the line.
Mm-hmm.
The banister, is that what you call it? It's, to me, banister means stairs. So
no. Yeah, wainscot. You put a wainscot on that's kind of what that is.
A wainscot?
A wainscot.
So what is that?
So, well, in this case, they just put a piece of trim that goes across, and it's just drywall on the bottom. But a lot of times you'll see some type of beadboard or even more trim inside to make it a little bit more formal. So I think that's where the builder was trying to go with it. But most of the time, if you're really looking at a truly formal, you'll have a lot more detail in that wainscot area.
What I've seen lately is the builders will put some sort of abstract in their model. Like you'll have the trim, and then under it, you'll have abstract shapes if it's a modern home, for example, or something like Paisley's if it's a high-end developer. I'm like, okay. So,
and you can go darker. Like I've done that before, where I've put they have different textural paints, like a suede-looking paint that you can do. It has a little bit darker, formalizes a little bit, and adds a little bit more interest.
Okay, how do you feel about this living room? And I also noticed there's crown molding in the entryway to make you feel fancy as you're walking into the house, and then the rest of the house, it's like, wait, it doesn't matter. They gave it up because it costs too much.
That sounds like a sales strategy again.
Right.
That is. That's a visual thing.
Right. First thing you walk in the house, ooh, it's got molding. Well, it's got it in one place.
Well, I would have probably spent a little extra money to go ahead and put molding in this room because it feels a little bit more formal. I don't see a television or anything like that. I don't know if there's maybe a family room somewhere else. But to kind of go with a whole formal feel, I would have definitely probably extended the crown molding in this room.
Yeah,
I like this room. I like the fireplace. I like the big windows.
Okay, so we have our fireplace, and I was like, I don't like seeing those. What are those? The metal sheathing covering. It's so frustrating. And I said, just take it out. But I don't know what to do after that. Right? We had lava rocks, like blue, like an aqua color blue lava rocks that were in there. We painted repainted the fireplace to make sure it was nice and white. And then the inside we painted black because it's going to get black anyway.
Exactly.
So
that's kind of what peeves is often in these newer homes and stuff, when they firebox in, it doesn't come painted already. I mean, it's usually like a white or a ceramic looking color. So anytime I go into a home or that we're doing anything around the fireplace, I have my contractors just paint it. Just get the fireproof paint, do it black. It just looks so much nicer because you're right. It's just going to turn black anyway.
Would you say to put glass on it, or would you paint the bricks at all? Would you do anything like that?
This is a traditional style home. I'm sorry.
I said, and then also the space above it and the shelving.
Yeah. That's a little tricky, when they have the kind of the arches and those little bitty niches that are only like 2 inches deep. You can't do a whole lot with that, but probably do artwork. But yeah, I mean, given it's a traditional home, I would probably leave the brick. But I personally, like you're talking about, I don't like the chains that kind of pull across and they get jammed and so on and so forth. But I can't tell if that one has glass on it. But I would either do glass or I like the freestanding ones that just, stand in front, large metal, but something a little bit not too heavy because this is a light space. Yeah,
that tile really throws me off.
I know.
I mean, I see it more and more. It just takes me a long time to see what you see in a second.
How would you rate the other things? Like, do you think this furniture and the rug and the wall art stuff go with kind of the style of the house, the fan?
The fan is, so obviously this house has been staged.
That's why I brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do feel like the furniture was a pretty good choice because I think what this house needs is a little bit more of a contemporary feel to it. What I would call transitional as opposed to fully traditional. Okay. This is definitely in the transitional stage. That fan is not coherent with the furniture. But the furniture works in this space and it does make it feel better. So yeah, I would have changed out the fan.
Matt, how do you feel about that fan?
Yeah.
It looks like the blades are too short and I'm not going to get enough air.
That's really funny. And my thought is it's really loud. It's really loud, and then the color of the covering changes the light, which means the light in the room is going to be yellow, and I hate yellow light in a room where I need to see something. It's
right. So when it's dark outside, it's very dingy.
I wanted to circle back to the fact that it's staged. How would you help a seller, Holly, stage a home and it not look staged?
So that is when I stage a home, that's kind of my goal, is that I typically try to present a house as if it's been lived in. So a lot of time, is that people are still living there, but yet it's just immaculate. So most often when I have a home to be staged where the actual owners are going to stay in the home, I utilize as much of their furniture as I can to make it feel more homey. But then I bring in things that will modernize it a little bit or bring it a little bit more up to date. But a lot of times, just the sofas or the cabinets I can utilize, and, because mixing the old and the new is pretty popular these days, especially with more textural feelings and stuff like that with the carpet and the pillows. So that's what I like to do. But if I have a home that is completely vacant, then even with that, I will bring in like artwork and rugs. Rugs are very important to make the house feel warm and welcoming. A lot of times you can put a lot of furniture in a house, but you can't put too much because then you need to show how much space there is in the house. And it just gives people an idea to visualize how they would set it up. It's definitely one of those things where if you walked into a completely empty house, it's hard for people to visualize, where would I put my stuff? How would I lay this out? It doesn't make much, any sense to me. So that's what I try to accommodate with my staging.
This next house I'm going to pull up, it's interesting because it has a lot of design elements in it, and it's listed right now for $800,000, and it is 4,000 square feet in Austin. It's not going to go for 800,000, but I want to pull it up and talk. Yeah, it's sus for anybody who knows what that is. It's a little sus.
Well, that is what we would call a little bit more contemporary.
Yeah. So this is obviously the living area. Okay, Matt, give me your thoughts on this right away.
Back to these short blade ceiling fans, I guess. I see that. I see that living room, and I think it feels so crowded to me. I don't like that about it.
Huh. It feels crowded.
Yeah.
So,
maybe it's just the angle that the pictures were taken, right? But that's kind of where my mind instantly goes.
I'm with you. If I wanted to, I run places. I move fast, and I'm a little clumsy by nature. So if I'm coming through a house, I can't get through this space because there's a table in the way. There's too much stuff. I don't feel claustrophobic or anything, but it's too much stuff. And I think that's what they're doing with this color on the fireplace. It's almost like a negative or something. That's my thought. But it also, the dark green and then the dark black and then the dark brown. I don't know. I like that they hung the fireplace. I like that the tiles are different. They're a different shape. But it just it howls on the wall. Anyway, Holly, give us your assessment.
Well, it's funny that you said that, Matt, about feeling like it's crowded, because I think that if you took it, the furniture is a bit large scale for that space. But even if you took those exact same
using big words,
right.
Both of those words have 5 letters. Those are not big words.
Big words.
Right. If you took those sofas and put them in a different fabric, it would change it so much. Like if you put them in a light neutral fabric that might have a nebby texture to it, it would feel
what texture?
Feel more, open and relaxing. And I think that that's kind of the issue, is because you have that really stark fireplace with the dark tile, and it's very contrasting with the walls, which is usually okay.
Even the furniture.
It just needs more softness in here. I mean, yeah, and probably slightly smaller scale. But like I said, if you had changed that fabric to a lighter, just, that textural that like you just want to curl up in it, that would change it a lot, the feeling for it.
Yeah. To me, it's aesthetically pleasing. I just want more room.
This is interesting. I want to go back. Look at this picture. Picture. What color is that couch?
I think it's like an olive green, but
okay. I'm going to go 2 pictures over.
Yeah. That's
totally really important. Couches. People need to understand lighting. That's why I was whining about if you have a yellow light up top, because it completely throws off the feel of the space.
Definitely. Also, just to note that coffee table and that corner table doesn't really mesh well with that.
Oh, this one, that coffee table?
Yeah, okay. With that style furniture. But I mean, yeah.
Is that okay?
That's also very dark. I mean, that looks like a dark brown wall, I guess, that's behind the dining table. It's very dark.
How about the kitchen? What would you do here?
Are those windows back there covered by everything else?
Jewel in the Rough says nubby texture. I was asking what you were saying earlier. I was like, nubby.
Oh, nubby texture. Yes.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's just this really comfort. And like Joanna Gaines uses it a ton in all of her rugs and her pillows, and you'll see it. Go to Target.
I would agree with Mark. He's talking about the cow. It does not look very happy. You are correct.
I kind of like the irate cow,
Yeah. That does look a little angry.
So where were you saying to go back to?
Oh, I noted the dark brown wall. That seems a little bit out of place. It looked
right
dark.
Here.
Yeah.
It looks dark brown with their little, red plants and then the orchids and.
Yeah. I bet that is the color of last year was urbane bronze, and that's kind of.
They have colors, annual colors. Okay.
Yep, that was last year's.
Right. Now you're going way over my head.
Well, and that's so that's interesting too, because. Okay, so one of the things that I talk to people about oftentimes is don't do something that either A, you're not going to love, or B, you're not going to be able to resell easily later.
Right.
And
so no neon green walls.
Well, and that's the thing. If you love them, but you're willing to paint them before you sell them.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's your house. It's your space. So like this backsplash, I kind of like it. I personally don't think it's too much.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
it looks like it's got some blue in it.
Some blue and some black. It does not match the room that it's. Open, it's an open concept. So to me, it's like, that does not flow.
I would have to agree with that. Nor does it really match the bar stools that are kind of
bar stools.
Dark leather.
It's a black countertop. The floors are a darker brown, so I see they're trying to bring that in.
Yeah.
From a utilitarian standpoint.
How important are stainless appliances versus black stainless versus white in your world? Well, Matt, how important are they in your world?
Oh, Lord. It's not even on my radar. I just like that the kitchen is roomy, has a nice island, and looks like you could do a lot in it. I'm sad that there's not a gas range, but beyond that, it all looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, we just ordered black stainless appliances, and we had the old white that's starting to fade appliances. And what we did is the bottom cabinets we painted black, like a muted black, and then the top we're gonna do an open style, like Euro style, open shelving.
Love it.
But then and it sounds good in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not a designer, so I might have to call you over.
Yeah.
But how are the appliances? So like the stainless, like, does it work for this kitchen?
I think it works for this kitchen. And it's funny because I remember about 8 or 10 years ago, people were like, stainless is going to go out of style, but it's really, it's not in the sense because it goes with you can put it with any style basically. So whether it's traditional,
Just metal.
modern, I mean, it's just, yeah. But the black stainless definitely feels a little bit more modern. So, which I think that's lovely. But I think we're definitely getting away from the white appliances or the, avocado green, or, well, actually that could be kind of more mid-century modern. But
so Mark just said, I hit it on the nose. Thank you, Mark. Is the black stainless a no-no, like for long term? So if you were going to keep this house for 20 years, do you go with black or do you go with stainless?
I actually think black stainless would work well in this kitchen. I mean, it's a lot of contrast with white cabinetry, but
he said with dark cabinets.
Ooh, with dark cabinets.
Then you've got a black kitchen. You just black on black on black there.
Well, he may be talking about like a really dark wood color.
Yeah, if it was like a chocolate or whatever they call that.
Yeah, I'd probably, depending on how large the kitchen is, I would, because I mean, if you have a large expanse of kitchen and you have a lot of lighting above or pendants and stuff like that can really light that up, under cabinet, over cabinet lighting. Like it looks like they do have over cabinet lighting. I think it's very interesting they put the windows in above that.
I love the transom windows.
I love transom windows too.
Light. And so anytime you can add light.
Absolutely.
They probably paid a pretty penny at the builder to have that added.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't already built into the plan. My guess is that this was a Highland home. That's my guess. Or Scott Felder. Highland or Scott Felder.
Anytime you can add natural light, I'm a
natural
fan. The more I can have the lights off and the sun shining, I am in it.
There are two things I want to say about this. One, this camera is horrible, or whoever took these pictures, no offense, but I mean, I am taking offense. Look at the color of this wall versus the color of the wall a couple screenshots ago where it was brown. We thought it was brown.
Yeah, it looks dark gray there.
That's a real problem when you're looking at these houses. And I think that's why people are like, I got to go see this place. A mirror? That's the kitchen, right? Unless it's a picture of their kitchen.
Right.
Which that would just be weird. That is a mirror.
So areas that mirrors work really well. I don't know that would be one of them.
Yeah, for space. I heard. What were you saying, Matt?
Let me ask your advice on this. So
I'd rather see
so many people that are moving to Austin or buying homes in Austin are people that are moving to Austin. How do you reconcile with the fact that looking at pictures on Zillow or Realtor.com or wherever could be a stark difference in seeing it in person when you can't travel 1,000 miles to go look at the house?
I love that question. Here's how I do it, because I try to stay tech savvy. I'm a tech guy by nature. I go out and spend the money on the nice new phone. Everybody else is like, I don't need those features. I was like, yeah, but I have a camera that will provide very rich, high quality video. So I can have 4K video at a nice solid color on Zoom or while I'm recording the screen and then send it to them. And I think it's that much better when they're receiving it on their end. Plus, I will go to the house on their behalf if I can. So that's another thing. And tour and call out any issues that I see with the home. So it really helps. I know people that have like an iPhone 4 and they're like, this will be fine. No. It will not be fine.
Yeah.
It will not be fine. You need to upgrade. If you need to step up your game. This is now, we are in a tech focused real estate situation, and you have to keep up with it. That's my
the business coach is going to come out here for a second too.
Austin
real estate market is a wild west right now. It is crazy. If you want to be a realtor listing homes and being competitive in your market, you've got to be that A game realtor. You've got to be that person that steps up and really provides the best, most accurate representation of a home, or else you're going to be left behind.
Well, I think that's the point. The most accurate representation. It's not about the technology. It's about showcasing your skills. And how can you showcase your skills if they can't even see what the place looks like?
Amen to that.
Yes. I've worked with several different realtors who use different photographers. So I've gotten to kind of see the gamut of the photographers who, are this is no knock on, but you have some that really specialize in high definition.
Mhm.
And it's funny because those pictures turn out gorgeous, but then they also can expose the flaws.
They can.
So, because you can really, and sometimes distort the color a little bit. But a lot of times, that is, if you're not using a good quality
I
camera,
want to go back and bring that up specifically. I will go and spend the extra money to have the photographer. I mean, it might cost, $450 for photos.
Mhm.
People don't realize, and I'll have the photographer go in and put a picture on the TV.
Mm-hmm. Especially in that one, because everything.
You get some color in your life.
If you're selling your home, do you want the realtor that's going up to shoot the house with the iPhone 4? Or do you want the realtor that's going to spend that $450 to hire a professional photographer or professional videographer to showcase what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I think you're right. But I mean, I'm partially biased, My first thought about this room. So this is the primary bedroom. I love that there's a bay window and a lot of them. Wow.
There's a lot about this room, actually.
And the ceilings are really high. I don't know about this in the background. Help me out with this.
It's funny because that really gives a very traditional feel, but the rest of the house seems pretty contemporary to me. So that's a little.
How would you feel if you put artwork in each of those three squares?
That needs. It definitely needs some artwork, and it doesn't.
I'm getting better at interior design just being here.
Yeah. Would you? I've seen some textures in places like that too. How do you feel about textures?
Actually, I mean, that trend is still, I think, going to happen for quite a while. It's just whether it's textural wall hangings or in throws, pillows, that's still, I think, going to hang, especially with the neutrals. That's still very popular. And then you can I still like color on the wall though, because that's kind of the one place where you can bring it in without it being too overwhelming.
I don't know why, but I hate this.
Wow, somebody has an opinion.
It's like the bathtub juts out of the wall for no reason and takes up the whole room.
It's a separation of space, right? Like you have one partner on one side, one partner. That's
clearly hers because it's more space.
Well, depending on the partnership, but yeah,
Not to mention, I would completely knock out my knee on. I would,
That looks like it would hurt. You cannot have a kid in this bathtub or bathroom. The tile, you've got the little tile on the side. I like that. I don't like when they leave it, the plaster. This color.
The actual tub. It's
the tub. It looks, to me, in a house that's over, let's say $400,000, it's kind of tacky.
Absolutely.
I look at this.
The money for the tile.
I have a question for you, Holly. Do you see, hardware on bathroom?
Oh my gosh, yes. And that's something that's so easy to do and not that expensive. It would upgrade that bathroom like almost immediately.
That's a funny question, Mark. Is the window frosted or dirty?
I think it's frosted.
I think it's frosted and dirty.
Could be.
Final answer.
Well, and part of the reason they probably frosted it was it looks like the neighbor has a window right there too.
Absolutely, privacy. And secret tip for anybody who's watching and doesn't have a frosted window and they're worried about privacy, you can go on Amazon and get a roll of the privacy frosting for it's like $30. You would never know the difference. Don't pay for an extra one.
So true.
Yeah. Take your time with it, or you're gonna have bubbles.
I'm gonna have what?
Bubbles in the film.
This fan is all over. I can't get away from this fan.
Honestly, I can't stand that fan.
I've been looking at it in every room of the house, and I'm mad every time.
This is pretty neat.
Okay, so that's another this is definitely more contemporary, and I think a little bit more fitting with the rest of the house.
I like that a whole lot better than the last bathtub.
Like it doesn't match the what is it? That primary bedroom or the living room furniture.
Right. Agreed.
Tulip lights above. That's a really good question. Mr. Gun Pilot Flores says tulips above the sink. What do you think about those?
I think they give a bit of a dated feel.
Yeah.
we've seen that for a long time. I think what we're kind of going more towards either the globes now, like the clear globes or the seated globes, or, even the kind of straight glass. And even the bars. I mean, the bars are kind of nice that go across. And given how contemporary this is, I would probably have done like a frosted bar going across. Yeah.
Oh, frosted bar.
Yeah,
How about the mirrors? Are you just seeing flat mirrors, or are you seeing like framed mirrors? Or
I so much prefer frame mirrors.
I don't like flat mirrors either. It feels like.
If you're going to put flat mirrors in, then do the nice metal or satin nickel clips. Not those plastic things.
So how do we feel about this type of shower, which is in 90% of houses that I walk in that are resale?
I like that type of shower. If you ask me, I like having a stand-in shower for sure. I like not showering in my bathtub, right?
Matt, we're talking about design here, man.
Right. I prefer the
half of design is utility. Okay.
Yeah. Prefer the frameless glass. It just has less of the line. That way you really see what the design what the design is in the tile. I feel like the frame glass breaks it up a lot. It doesn't feel as open. Big.
Something Gun Pilot Flores brought up a good question. What would you replace it with?
Yeah, I think he was referring to the tulip lights, which she answered.
Oh, right.
The frosted bar, and I like that idea. So, question:
I've seen them where they have metal.
I'm sorry. Are you seeing, or do you recommend that people go all the way to the ceiling with tile now?
Absolutely.
I'm seeing builders do that sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it just gives the feeling of more space. I mean, whether it's going up and feeling taller, like the ceilings are taller, because even when you have, those look like 9-foot ceilings, but even when you have the 8-foot ceilings to go all the way with the tile, it just feels more open, bigger. Mm-hmm. And bathrooms are kind of small spaces, so you want to feel a little bit more.
This is the nerd in me. I really like when you have a sink that is touchless. It's so inexpensive to do nowadays.
I didn't know those were touchless.
No, I'm saying I like when they have that. That's my point.
A definite handle there.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's a cosmetic handle only.
I wanted to get here. I saw this from the living room, but I wanted to get to this spot.
Oh, outdoor kitchen. It's like
outdoor kitchen.
This is my favorite room in the house.
Right. I have a buddy that started a company doing outdoor kitchens, and the demand is incredible. Mm-hmm. People being stuck in this situation have to spend more time at home. If they don't have space inside, they want to be outside. Absolutely. And other than this week where the weather's wonky, this is an incredible space. You can do so much. They probably painted the fireplace black inside so that it makes people want to go outside. Maybe that's what they did.
At the same time, I want a grill or a fire pit, not just another stove outside. Or I feel like, what's the point? Mm-hmm. But that's me personally.
Yeah. And so grill, you've got the sink, you have your fridge is what I imagine, or they put it over there. So it's tiled. That's interesting, right? Most slabs are not tiled unless you're spending some real money. Mm-hmm. I like that they have the pattern on the top. This makes me go back to thinking it's a Scott Felder.
Mm-hmm. I do love the wood like that. Kind of gives a little bit of a mountainous feel.
Even the steps along the fireplace. The steps. Yeah. I think that's classy.
They had a nice feel. I'll agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they went and got IKEA furniture. Come on. Come on.
It was the stagers. That's what we
I know, but you're right. And then this
we should have hired you to stage.
Like 1973.
Right. What's that? The mat? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Not that mat.
Right. Not that mat. Yeah. I would have at least changed the pillows because that definitely screams. Yeah.
Screams more brown. Mm-hmm. Not enough brown.
This is definitely where you could bring in a little pop of color that wouldn't, not anything too contrasting, but just something to brighten it up a little bit. Because this is the space that you want to draw people out to. So.
Okay, so I've got a crazy question for you. Would you consider, and I'm only asking this because I think odd things sometimes, would you consider maybe painting around here?
Wait. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Doors or around the windows? Like, would you do anything like that? Or would you paint any of the brick features, or the stone? Like, would you do anything to the exterior? Because it is outside, but it's also protected, mostly weather protected.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So one of the, kind of popular trends right now, or you'll see a lot of matte black framed windows and the dark bronze framed windows, which I love. I mean, it's a beautiful look.
How long do you think that look will stay in style if that's the trend now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's, we're definitely still in that little bit of a modern farmhouse era. And I think that's going to be there for a while.
There's a whole subdivision in Leander. So Leander's blowing up right now, right?
Yes, yeah.
There's a whole subdivision called Bryson that's real close to 183. And they are like all the builders are doing farmhouse style builds there. It's pretty interesting. Bryson and Orchard Ridge are two that do that. So I think people they're gonna be stuck with it for a minute if they buy a house that looks like
right.
It's also Texas, and I think that's what's cool about it is they're trying to preserve that feeling. I also want to just point out that you've got off of the primary bedroom, you have the outdoor living space. That's hot. Love that.
Agree. Oh, this is still part of the same house?
It's the same house. It's 4,000 square feet. A lot of square feet to look through.
Out in the backyard, I felt very kind of Southwestern and almost mountains looking. And now we're back to modern.
Yeah, you go from cow to abstract art on the wall here.
I love that the front door though. It's unique.
I like the front door. I really do. I think they did a good job with it.
I look at it.
Also very brown. You said you look at it in what?
I see a door,
See, okay, let's go back to this. It's
got design to it. It's nice.
It has some neat design, but again, I go back to the safety of my clients. Oftentimes they're like, it's great that if they're okay with seeing through, but what they can't do is get through it. Right? Somebody could shatter the glass and still can't get to you.
Right. You have the metal work going
because of the metal, right? And so it gives you time to prepare. Now, this is Texas. Most people don't need much time to prepare. I'm just saying, it's good to know.
Right.
Our shotguns are already loaded, sir.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take that off. All right. Let's see. What else? How are you seeing? What are some of the trends? What would you say are the top 3 design trends you're seeing in 2021? And then we'll do our last house.
So some of the design trends I'm seeing, like colors that are going to continue to be popular. I mentioned the urbane bronze earlier, that it's like such a dark brownish black. That was the color last year, but I think we're still going to see that going into the new year. We're going to see more emerald greens, like some of the green come back, which I personally love. Green.
You like my lights?
Yes, exactly. I was noticing that wall.
Thank you.
I like it. But yeah, kind of the darker olive and emerald green colors, I think, are going to be coming back. But we're still keeping like furniture and stuff very neutral.
If I turn the lights off.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
If I turn them off, the wall is actually an olive color. Here's the secret. It was a mistake. It was supposed to be a green screen color.
Oh, okay.
And then I didn't want to redo it.
See, I like the olive. That's perfect.
Anyway, enough of that. All right.
So we'll see that. We'll still see a lot of creamy ivory texture, even a bit of the blush color.
Blush.
But also,
what color is that for a guy? What does that mean?
Yes. Okay. So it's pink without being pink.
Got it. So it's soft
feminine. It's matter of fact,
cinnamon
without being too feminine.
Oh, okay. I was like, cinnamon. That's a whole other color palette right there. I know a little bit. There
probably is a little bit of cinnamon mixed in there, color, because it's got a little bit of blush has got a little bit more brown tones in it actually. It's not super bright pink.
Jewel in the Rough says anything but gray. Gray has gray. And it's so crazy you say that. Every builder, sorry, not every builder, but a lot of builders have very much been moving to stark white and gray all inside the houses,
Mhm.
and then staging and decorating
Mhm.
to contrast that.
Yes.
That's actually a good point. My one of my friends who just bought a house,
Who's his
little home
realtor?
community.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
They went through a builder. White and grays everywhere. Yeah, this house is built. This house is finished in January. White and grays everywhere.
So
I gotta pause for a minute. You said they went through a builder. This is a real estate channel. For anybody who doesn't know, bring your realtor to a builder.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
yeah,
welcome.
definitely. Yes, because they can. Yeah, highly suggest that. Yeah. Well, so the thing is I don't think beige khaki color was popular for many, many years, and then now we're seeing the grays, and have been for quite a while now. And the thing is that it's all, I think what feels more comfortable is somewhere in between. Honestly, is kind of more like a grayish, something that's warm and inviting, because certain grays can feel very cold and just not, just a little bit more sterile. So I don't really think the grays are going to go anywhere. I think they're going to stay, but I think you're going to start seeing them a lot warmer.
Well, would you say it makes your walls just feel sad?
I want to see more of your baby Yoda. Look at that.
Yes. He's to protect us. Ready to.
That's why he's so popular. He's the color of 2021. All right.
Yeah, he kind of is, actually.
He is. I'm going to bring up this last house. Now, this house is $4 million. It is 7,000 square feet in Austin, Texas. You ready for this?
Wow. Okay, let's see it.
Whoa.
This first off, there's poodles on the porch, and those are not real. I don't know what that means.
With the mid-century modern theme, I think.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. This looks like the front of a hotel to me, a motel from the 60s.
This is classic. Keep Austin weird. This is great.
I don't know about the exterior myself, but
I love it. I mean, it's different. I probably would not have chosen those colors, but it's Austin. It's so Austin.
The point is, someone's going to eat it up.
Someone is going to eat it up.
Absolutely.
And if it mattered, they would just repaint it.
Mm-hmm.
Even the railing.
Mm-hmm.
It says something. That railing is making a statement.
It is. And I know a lot of people wouldn't go for that color, but I will say that they used it very tastefully. I mean, if you're going to go with a really big pop like that, do it in small amounts. Don't overwhelm your viewer. But I love this. This is kind of your classic mid-century modern, that partition that you see there. And that is so coming back. I mean, we've had mid-century modern for a while now, but I'm seeing a lot more partitions like this. And it's lovely.
This makes me think of a dojo. Am I wrong?
I can see that, and I like that about it, actually.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I've always been fascinated. I'm fascinated with, or maybe you don't know, but I'm fascinated with a lot of different cultures. I've been to a lot of different countries, and I like to absorb the cultural varieties. But yeah, that makes me think dojo. I love the skylight.
Yes, that was nice.
Right, that is a skylight, right?
Yeah, it looks like it, and it kind of fits that stairwell perfectly.
I know you laughed over the wedding picture. How do you feel about having your wedding picture on the wall in a home you're selling?
Ooh, me? Can I answer this?
Yes, either of you.
My position is this. If you have personal items, prepare to have that as both a positive and a negative when people are viewing your home. Because it's going to turn some people off and it's going to turn some people on, whatever that means. But it's important to know that. And so if you have pictures, here's why I say that. We're in a really strange time, right? Where people are overly judgmental or fearful or whatever. And so if you see a picture of a family and it doesn't look like your family, that could be a psychological turnoff. Right? If you see certain, let's say, religious symbols or political symbols on a wall, that is going to change that person's perception of you or the neighborhood, and it can be a detriment in your offers. I have seen it play out a few times.
Then quick question. Is anyone going to walk in a home and say, oh man, I wish I could see pictures of who lived here first?
Always. Everybody wants to know the story of the person if they think it's going to help them win the offer in a lot of cases. So as a realtor, I'll say, let's try to figure out who these people are when I'm working with my buyers. Because my job is to do the best job for the buyers, right? So if I can find out that, oh yeah, it's this kind of couple, they have a little dog. If we're going to write a letter, we're going to include a picture of your dog because puppy power,
right?
And they'll eat it up. One of the two of them will eat it up, and it'll help with the offer.
So true.
Rental and an investment property. There's all sorts of. Sorry.
Yeah. That happened to us in 2006 because we were like literally going up to the house. People were waiting outside to go in to see it, and so we knew we were going to have to do something important to get that house. And so we found a little Air Force sticker. And at the time, my husband's father was in the Air Force or had been a retired military, and so we wrote a letter making that comment. Oh, he must have been Air Force. So it was a really cool story because she was actually. The woman who lived in this house was a WAP, I think is what they call them, the women who actually flew in World War II.
WAP?
Yeah, yes. I forget what it stands for.
Women Air Force pilots or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
As of last year, that meant a totally different thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow.
I'm so sorry. I kind of forgot about that.
I know. That's why I was like, really? Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. Mark said, I think I've gone blind. I'm assuming he's talking about that front photo of this house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the doors. Look at the doors.
See, yeah. But I mean, that wood wall, that wood screen, I mean, that by itself is a piece of art. I mean, it's just.
It is. And it's just a privacy barrier, right? Like, is that its intent?
Yeah. Well, it's. Okay, so you know how in this situation it's not, but you know how you were talking about some of the entry doors that have the glass.
Yes.
Like I personally love having glass in the front door to allow, because a lot of times your entryway is kind of dark, so it allows that light in. But it doesn't work for all entryways because sometimes they're right out in the open where you see the living area. Yeah. So in this case, of course, they didn't put a lot of glass in the door, but it's something like that kind of block that off and not make it so exposed to people walking up to your door. But it's also just cool looking. I love it.
Now that is a spacious living area.
That is a spacious living area. Remember, this is a 7,000 square foot home, so it better have a nice,
definitely
grand living space. How would you rate this design on a scale of 1 to 10? Like the furniture along with the house. Maybe that's the way I'll say it. The staging along with this house.
I would definitely give it a good 8.5 to 9. And I'll say because of the fact that they're staying true to the design of the home. I mean, the furniture works well with the look of the home, and it's the colors and everything. It is that mid-century modern, but it's also bringing it to like today's mid-century modern. I mean, we probably didn't have quite all those colors together, but yeah.
What would bring it up to a 10?
That's the next question. I love that.
I don't know what the space is over here, and it kind of bugs me. Like that's a lot of.
We'll get there.
And it feels like it needs like a rug or softness or a purpose. I just feel like it's either it needs to be. I don't know. It's
almost too open.
Well, it's just I don't know. It just feels like a little bit more.
Like void.
Yes. So, thank you. And maybe if that living room were a little bit like the furniture were positioned differently, where as you walked in, because typically you don't really want to see the back of a sofa when you walk in.
Oh.
Perhaps it's like laid out differently, but of course you have the fireplace on the other side that you have to be concerned with too, because you can't put, you don't want to put it.
And they have seating area here, so you don't necessarily need that. Or you can put a sofa table or something, right?
Right. But I'm almost seeing like a gigantic sectional in that space. But then again, you don't really, that points to the
like a U shape.
Yeah. But you don't really have like a TV unless there's a TV hidden behind that.
Do you think anything should live on the ceilings besides those lights? Because the ceilings are probably the most empty things in the room.
That's a good question. I was actually going to ask if you painted this beam to match the floor, but there's no fan. That's what's throwing me.
Yeah. I'm a huge ceiling fan person, but there are people who just
I get hot easies. That's why I'm a huge ceiling fan person. It's not about the way it looks. It's about I want some airflow.
Ooh, I totally agree with Jewel. It needs some plants because that's another thing. It's very sterile right now. It needs some life in there. Completely agree.
Some organics.
Yes.
Yeah, but unless you're always having parties, then you need to put something else that's alive in there.
Yeah.
Even if there was an animal in the picture, it would.
I would definitely, because I think the entryway is to the left there, right? I would definitely have put a sofa table behind that sofa to put some plants on or something.
What is that?
I don't know. I guess I can't tell. Are they hollow? I don't know.
It looks like they're hollow. They're not chairs.
Are those your planters for those plants?
Oh, they could be.
Salads. Well, they mix the big salads for their guests.
I don't know. I look at them and say those little things look pretentious to me.
Okay, Matt, how do you feel about this rug? Let me guess, you love it.
Yeah, nice. I don't feel. Yeah, it's a rug. It's a rug.
Yeah.
I like the way you think, Mark. You're fine.
Is this jade? It looks like this statue it's a jade like liger,
like a panther or something, right?
Yeah.
Chimera, that's the word I was looking for. Wow, look at that.
That's cute.
And the cabinets. Did you say I think it's neat that the bar stools, all of it matches the period. They're all period pieces. And the phone.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I know.
That's awesome. That kitchen looks so tiny though.
I was about to say, in a 7,000 square foot house, I want more kitchen room than that. I'd feel gypped.
Here's what we don't know. This could be kitchen number 2.
That's true.
I don't know. We're assuming that that's the primary kitchen, and it could very well be.
Interesting.
Okay, this is the second time I've seen this lamp. I saw it when they first walked in too.
Yeah.
I like that there's a lot of windows along one whole side of the house. Because I don't know what room this is, but
got a lot of sunlight coming in though.
Well, it's a long.
There you go. Here you go. Here's the full open.
Oh wow.
See, windows along here, windows along there, and there's a railing, that blue railing going all the way across as well.
Okay, so that living area is just on the other side of that wall.
I've got a question for you, Holly.
What's that?
Shades or blinds? Rolling shades or blinds?
Shades. So I like the shade, like for a situation like this, they make these, they're just awesome now, that the remote control shades that will go up there and it kind of just looks like the header of a window, but then, push the button, shades come down. You can have 2 different shades. You can completely block all the light out, and then you can have some light filtering ones. And for when you have a large expansion of glass like that, one whole side of the house is all glass, I would definitely go that route. It's very clean line.
I want to point out that they, this is a $4 million house. They spent a lot of money on pictures because they have a lot of pictures, and they did the HDR thing. Because you look at the monitor, the TV on the wall, and the monitors all have pictures of something in there. So they paid an extra few $100s to just do that little bit.
Yep. Definitely.
And they also made sure that you could see outside. If you look at a cheap picture, inexpensive photographer or inexpensive photo, it's generally the window, and then you can't see outside.
Your window glare stop you.
Because you get the glare of the window, or just that's not how light works, right? You have to change the exposure to catch that. And so anyway, it's really, at least they did a good job with that. This rug though.
It worked for me. It doesn't work for this style. That looks pretty traditional actually.
Does it? Okay, well then I'm wrong.
Well, it's red.
That makes me think of the Red Poppy Festival in Georgetown.
I don't know. The red doesn't work for me in this house.
Okay, yeah, in this house. Everything else is the turquoise, or what color is that? What color is that really? Okay, kitchen number 2.
Oh yeah, so here's the primary kitchen, clearly.
Actually, this isn't kitchen number 2. Check this out. The fridge is here.
Oh yeah.
This is all the same kitchen.
Oh, then I'm mad at it again.
You're mad?
I'm re-mad.
You have a fridge and a bar stool, and then across the way, it looks like, this is kitchen.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
with the skylight.
I'm not mad.
Oh, you're unmad again. This is gorgeous.
Apparently, this house has been an emotional roller coaster for me.
But there's cabinets all over the space. That refrigerator, what is that? A Sub-Zero? I can't tell. It's one of those that is nice.
Can we go back? Can we go back 2 slides?
No.
But I love those windows too. But what cracks me up is Formica. That's like Formica coming back.
It is. It is.
Which I will say, I don't mind that because, you know, that's where you can get some fun pops of color. But what drives me nuts is that sink being over. It's basically a drop-in sink as opposed to the under-counter sinks.
Yep.
You can't really do under-counter on laminate, but that's the only thing that bugs me about it. But I think in that case, I would have probably put some modern kind of, I don't know, farmhouse. Or not just the farmhouse shape, not necessarily that it would have that stuff.
Probably a deeper sink, probably wider. I'd put wider. You have a huge island. Why not use that? It doesn't matter that you're trying to be classic feel. You have so much more space here. Mm-hmm. And then this, look, the phone on the wall. They did it. They did it with this house.
I know. I love it.
They did all the little touches. Even if it's not for everybody, they put all those little touches that make it seem really cool. And they even have modern outlets. What is this on the wall?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I guess you can't zoom in on that, can you?
Microwave. So, microwaves on the countertop. This is a $4 million house. You need to lift that up there.
Yeah.
Do something.
Absolutely. That should have been built in.
So one of these is, you know what? I wonder if one's a wine fridge or a trash compactor.
Well, I have a feeling that one that's got the handle, that's probably a dishwasher, actually. That's right next to the
dishwasher here. Point. There are 2 sinks. Missed it.
Oh, okay. So that is, okay. That must be a prep sink. Yeah. In the island.
Prep sink. These are new words to me. So when you have a house that's over 5,000 square foot,
you may have a prep
sink.
Right.
I love the idea of a prep sink.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Great, yeah.
It's wonderful in big kitchens.
Okay.
Quick pause. So
interesting.
Three slides ago, we saw a room with a desk and a computer in it. So one thing you probably want to think about if you're selling a home or if you're buying a home right now is, for better or for worse, 2020 is the year of normalizing working from home. So if I'm looking to buy a house, I probably see it as a selling point to be able to have a great, comfortable work from home space or teach kids from home space. If you don't have that in your home right now, I mean, are you a leg up? Are you a leg down? It's something worth considering. Yeah,
the space is huge right now. People love having the ability, and this is it. Well-timed, Mark. He actually said it a while ago, but it fits now. It's possible that it's so huge they didn't even have enough stuff to fill it.
Yeah.
Right. So, why don't you help us out with this, Holly? Does it cost more to stage a house that's larger?
Typically, yes. But it's not like you have to fill every single space because, you know, a lot of the bedrooms and stuff can be, you know, you kind of know, you can visualize where you're going to put that bed. But yeah, when it comes to open spaces like this, I would definitely say you need to stage it or else people will be just lost on what do you do with the space.
Yeah, we haven't even made it outside yet.
Me, because this is very much, that's the kids' table and that's the adult table over there.
That's what it looks like, but it's not like it's smaller, like not shorter anyway.
Right.
The kids are sitting up. They got to get their ties and everything and their blazers and get ready. Like that's what it looks like. You're going to sit over there, but you're going to be adult about it. Okay.
So that's very strange to me. I don't know.
We'll make it outside. Let's see. I don't know how I feel about these. We're back to the IKEA lamps. Right.
Yeah, except I'm sure those are quite a bit more expensive than IKEA.
It's a busy ceiling.
Right. It's just that look.
Yeah.
Okay, another sink. This is sink number 5. Okay. The
is
other
that a doggy door?
It's a doggy door in the wall outside.
I love that.
More than one.
Probably. But that's great.
They even got even the handles are bejeweled.
They are. Oh,
okay, so tip for people buying handles. Make sure the look is one thing, the aesthetics of it is one thing, but the functionality, if it's a low handle like this, make sure that it's closed, because if you walk by and you have belt loops or you have pockets on your pants, that's going to rip off if you're clumsy.
Absolutely. Yep. That's funny because I learned myself in a designer. I wasn't really thinking, but I went with in a bathroom. I went with the handles that have the extended, section because they look cool and they're long and modern looking. And yes, I would not recommend those for bathrooms. Kitchens, they're okay, but the problem is if you have any type of tool like a curling iron or a flat iron or anything like that, if it gets caught on that thing, I probably burned myself at least 6 times before I learned not to. Yeah, it's terrible.
I can't tell if this person's having an office meeting in his primary bedroom.
Right? Yeah, I think back with what Mark said, I think they were just trying to fill the space.
Yeah.
I had too much furniture at this
There's
point.
just two chairs sitting here. Maybe I'm not. Hold on. Oh, okay, they're workout. Wow.
Is that an exercise machine?
Bunch of Moira hats.
Yes. Interesting.
I was gonna say Moira wigs. Have you seen that show?
Mm-mm.
The Creek Show?
No.
No, with the mom from Beetlejuice? What?
No. I hardly watch TV anymore. But this is obviously, well, I don't know what this obviously is because I see pink, which kind of indicates, obviously feminine space.
The toilet is pink. Commode. Sorry.
Wow.
Commode with the bidet.
Is it really pink?
It looks like it, but it could
looks
be
a
the
little
reflection
bit.
of the wall.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. I mean, there's a lot of it that looks kind of young and youthful and then feminine.
This probably isn't even the primary bedroom.
Hmm.
We assumed earlier.
That's a big chandelier to not be the primary bedroom.
It is. You're right. And same with this closet. You are not going to have a problem seeing yourself in this.
Oh, wow.
Or storing anything.
Mm-hmm. I would be okay with that. That feels kind of cold. Lots of marble.
Another skylight. There's skylights all over this place too.
I do like that. Really, that's a lot of pattern.
A lot of pattern, pink again. Notice the bench and then all that storage. That's storage for a shower. That they did that.
That's very lovely.
The marbled tile. How do you feel about the marbled tile? I think at least it matches the granite.
Yes. Marble's a classic. I mean, I don't think it'll ever go out of style because it's pretty much, stood the test of time. Although it's, something you have to be careful with because it is a very porous surface. You can't just put it in a kitchen and not seal it or what have you.
Medicine cabinet mat. And then
yeah.
Makeup mirror. Is that the term for this?
Makeup mirror?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, here's my question. Why is it next to the toilet? With a phone.
There's a phone in every room, man. Every room has a phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they are truly going back to the 70s.
They are. And I'm not, I'm not
like that, right? If you were like big stuff, you had a phone in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the live-in photo of someone squatting on that toilet, looking at their phone while there's a phone on the wall.
So you see an ADA compliant, like tub shower situation here inside of the main shower. I almost wonder if that makes if it's a sauna.
Oh.
Why would they have both, right?
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
So that's my first thought. Second, immediately I'm like, those people on the wall, this is not their house. You lied to me.
Yeah, no doubt. That's true.
See, that's the kind of thing that I'm paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
I love that where is this? The mud room? What is
this? I don't feel good in that space. It feels disjointed. You've got that kind of minty. It looks like minty.
It's Rocky Road. You got a Rocky Road floor. That's what that is, right? Mint and chocolate.
Yes, it's kind of like that. And the gold is so strong, and it just I don't think the gold works with this.
Oh, the gold in the
the dinosaur. I love it.
So the gold. Oh yes, this is very gold.
Yeah, it's weird.
I like the exposed plumbing. I think that's pretty clever for the period piece or for the time period. That's cool. And then hold on. Did they really? Is this not gold? Like, does that not match the door knob? I guess because it's the outside.
I don't know. I can't really tell that. I feel like that it's such a yellowy gold. It just really stands out. And did they really put bunk beds in front of a window?
They don't care about their kids. Come on. This is the backyard and there's a pool in the way or something like that.
They have too much money to care about their kids.
Yeah.
That's the nanny shop.
Hey, but they have a unicorn, so that's cool.
I like it. Wow.
Whoa. Okay.
These are kitchen chairs. What is this? Like a snack room? Is that a thing? It's lunchroom.
I'll say I've designed one of those.
This reads like a party room at Chuck E. Cheese or something to me.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah, show seats just to have something, like you said, to fill the space. Because you can be really clever with some of these things. Some people need craft rooms. I have a client that did a dedicated game room, and I'm talking like to paint Warhammer characters. Like that's how dedicated, because you needed a solid space. I was like, hey, you know what? People have music rooms. I see all sorts of things. So movie rooms, my type.
That's a theater for sure. Right,
I don't know why I'd have all these pictures over there, because that's just detracting.
I would have to
detracting from the
yeah.
Okay, so my first thought is this window glare is the worst. It would be the worst against like you can't watch a TV with all those windows open.
You'd have to have a full shade. Yeah, something to come away from.
Yeah, it looks like it does.
Blackout shades in there.
What'd you call them?
Blackout shades. They may have blackout shades in there, like watch movies. But that TV seems like, it should almost be more of a bigger screen for that size of a room. No, that's
projector right here.
Oh, got it.
All this storage gone. Give me a nice 4K or even 8K at this point projector that's 100 feet wide, ultra wide, that can cover most of the wall. That's what I'm talking about. And then a nice little server rack over here that'll make sure to store all my movies. Okay, this looks really small. The back of the house looks really small from here, but I know it's not. It's just, oh, you know what? It goes way down there. That's what it is.
Yeah. But is that kind of like a bean-shaped pool? I'm having a hard time.
I like the shape of that pool, actually.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It reminds me of the bean.
So much light. It's interesting that they didn't actually cover it. They just put the sunshades over it.
Right. Interesting. And yeah, you can kind of see the reflection of that in the pool. It's kind of cool.
And again, you just have people outside.
If you're trying to get some sun, that's better.
Yeah, these chairs are not under the shade. It just doesn't feel like they did it right.
It feels cold. That feels cold to me. It doesn't feel like let's go hang out by the pool. Fun.
Yeah, it feels very staged.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, nobody would sit here unless they're playing a game of, I don't know, what is it, craps or something? Like, for real, what are you sitting there doing?
I don't know. Staring at each other, wondering.
Well, because it was in the sun. And in Texas, you do not sit in the sun for too long. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
Especially if you don't have hair on the top of your head.
Oh, look at that.
Right. Well, you get a hat like this guy. Okay, so they drive a Tesla. I'm fans already. I'm a fan already. Their rain collection or their irrigation is probably what that is. And then it looks like there may even be tons of storage along the way. That's nice. So this might be the water heater, but those might be storage.
Whoa. It's very long.
That's a long house. 4-bedroom, 4. Trying to see what they're calling it. Game room, media room. Okay. Basement.
This one is 7,000. Yeah. Did you say this is 7,000 square feet or something?
7,000. Yeah. So they're the 2 levels. Basement. Excellent. Excellent.
I would love to have a basement.
Yeah, I know. You don't get those in Texas. Are you from Texas?
Yes, I am from Texas.
Okay.
But yeah,
so you've never had a basement.
I've seen a few basements here in Texas, but not many.
I gotcha. Well, I think we have exhausted our houses for today, our design discussion. That was a lot of fun. It was interesting. I think you gave some pretty good tips to some people. Why don't we make our rounds? And Matt, why don't you tell people how they could reach you if they wanted to? We'll start there.
Sure. So again, my name is Matt Shows, owner and coach, the Growth Coach North Austin. You can give me a call anytime, 512-571-1029, or just check out my website, thegrowthcoachnorthaustin.com.
Very cool. I'll make sure to put both Matt and Holly's information in the description below this video. Thanks, Matt, for being our noob. Holly, can you give us our parting words for us, please?
I, once again, am Holly McKay, and I own Atmosphere Design, and I do interior design as well as home staging. And I can also be reached at www.atmospheredesign.com.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Matt, for coming on the channel and imparting your wisdom. I think we had a good time.
It was
so
fun.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you check these people out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll try to get to them next time we get together.